1. Hashima Island, Japan. Hashima Island, also known as Battleship Island, is a small, abandoned island located about 15 kilometers from Nagasaki, Japan. From the late 19th century until 1974, it was a bustling coal mining facility housing thousands of workers and their families in tightly packed concrete apartment buildings. The island earned its nickname Battleship because its shape resembles a warship when seen from afar. However, after coal reserves were completely exhausted in the early 1970s, the mining operations were shut down and the island was suddenly abandoned. Today, Hashima is a haunting ghost town with crumbling buildings, rusting structures, and empty streets, standing as a stark reminder of rapid industrial growth and decline. 2. Centralia, Pennsylvania, USA. Centralia is a small town in Pennsylvania, USA. Once a thriving mining community, it was famous for its coal mines and active local community. In 1962, a coal mine fire accidentally started beneath the town. The fire spread underground and could not be extinguished. Toxic smoke, sinkholes, and dangerous gases forced residents to leave gradually. Today, Centralia is mostly abandoned. Few buildings remain standing, and streets are cracked or covered in smoke. It is often referred to as a ghost town, and a chilling example of nature and industry colliding. 3. Beelitz-Heilstätten, Germany. Beelitz-Heilstätten is a large abandoned hospital complex located near Berlin, Germany. It was originally built at the end of the 19th century as a medical center for tuberculosis patients. During both World War I and World War II, the complex was used as a military hospital. Thousands of soldiers were treated here, making it one of the most important medical facilities of its time. After the Cold War, the hospital gradually lost its purpose. Medical facilities became outdated, maintenance costs increased, and the complex was officially abandoned in the early 2000s. Today, Beelitz-Heilstätten stands empty and decaying. Broken windows, collapsing roofs, and overgrown corridors give the site a haunting and eerie atmosphere. It is now considered one of the most famous abandoned places in Germany. 4. Oradour-sur-Glane, France. Oradour-sur-Glane is a small village located in southwestern France. Before World War II, it was a peaceful rural community with shops, schools, and families. The village lived a quiet life until June 1944, near the end of World War II. At that time, Nazi forces were retreating after the Allied invasion of Normandy. On June 10, 1944, German SS soldiers entered Oradour-sur-Glane. The entire population was gathered in the village square. Men were separated from women and children. Almost all residents were brutally killed, and the village was burned to the ground. After the massacre, Oradour-sur-Glane was never rebuilt. The ruins were preserved exactly as they were left after the attack. Today, Oradour-sur-Glane stands as a silent ghost village. Burned cars, destroyed houses, and empty streets remain frozen in time. It serves as a memorial and a warning about the horrors of war. 5. Maunsell Sea Forts, England. Maunsell Sea Forts are a group of offshore military structures located in the North Sea, near the coast of England. They were built during World War II to protect Britain from enemy air and naval attacks. The forts were designed by British engineer Guy Maunsell in the early 1940s. They were placed in shallow waters and consisted of steel towers mounted on concrete bases. Their main purpose was to defend shipping routes and major ports such as London from German aircraft and naval threats. The forts were equipped with anti-aircraft guns and radar systems. After World War II ended, the forts quickly became obsolete. Advances in military technology and high maintenance costs led to their abandonment in the 1950s. Some forts were later used as pirate radio stations in the 1960s. However, harsh sea conditions caused severe corrosion and structural damage. Today, most Sea forts are abandoned and partially destroyed. Standing alone in the sea, they create a haunting and surreal landscape. They are now considered iconic symbols of wartime engineering and isolation. 6. Body, California, United States. Body is a completely abandoned ghost town located in the state of California, United States. Once home to thousands of people, today it is known for its silence and eerie atmosphere. The story of Body began in 1859, when gold was discovered in the area. As news of the gold spread, miners and adventurers rushed to the town. By the late 1870s, Bodie had a population of around 10,000 people. The town had saloons, hotels, gambling houses, brothels, and even a church. Bodie became infamous for lawlessness and violence. Murders, gunfights, and crime were part of everyday life in the town. Over time, the gold reserves began to run out. Mining was no longer profitable, and people slowly started leaving the town. Body was located in an area with harsh winter conditions. Cold weather, isolation, and economic collapse led to the town being completely abandoned. By the 1940s, almost no one was left in Bodie. Homes, schools, and shops were left exactly as they were. Today, Bodie is preserved in a state of arrested decay. Furniture, personal items, and even plates remain exactly where they were left. Many ghost stories are told about Bodie. Visitors claim to hear footsteps and whispers during the night. Bodie is not just an abandoned town, but a dark memory of the past. Its silent streets represent a world once full of life, now completely dead. 7. Humberstone, Chile. Humberstone is an abandoned ghost town located in northern Chile, in the middle of the Atacama Desert. It stands abandoned in one of the driest places on Earth. Surrounded entirely by desert, Humberstone was built in an extremely harsh environment for human life. Despite this, thousands of people once lived here. Humberstone was founded in the late 19th century for saltpeter mining. Saltpeter was a crucial material used for fertilizers and explosives at the time. In a short time, Humberstone became a major industrial settlement. Workers moved here with their families, despite the isolation. The town had a school, theater, swimming pool, hotel, and a church. Humberstone was a small but organized community in the middle of the desert. Miners worked under extreme heat, dust, and chemical exposure. Many workers suffered serious health problems. Life in Humberstone was strictly controlled by company rules. People were forced to live almost their entire lives within the town. In the mid-20th century, the invention of synthetic fertilizers reduced the demand for saltpeter. This marked the beginning of Humberstone's decline. The mines were shut down and workers lost their jobs. The town rapidly began to lose its population. By the 1960s, Humberstone was almost completely abandoned. Homes, belongings, and memories were left behind. Today, time seems frozen in Humberstone. Rusting machinery and empty buildings carry the scars of the past. Silence, wind, and empty structures give the town an eerie atmosphere. At night, Humberstone becomes even more unsettling. Some visitors claim to hear sounds coming from the abandoned buildings. Humberstone has become a place surrounded by ghost stories. Today, Humberstone is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Despite this, it still feels like a completely abandoned town. Humberstone is a silent grave of a city built by human labor and destroyed by technology. A forgotten ghost town in the heart of the desert. 8. Kolmanskop, Namibia. Kolmanskop is an abandoned ghost town located in southern Namibia, in the heart of the Namib Desert. Today, it is known as one of the most haunting, abandoned places in the world, with houses filled with sand. The story of Kolmanskop began in 1908, when diamonds were discovered in the area. This discovery led to the rapid construction of a wealthy town in the middle of the desert. Kolmanskop was extremely luxurious for its time. It had a hospital, school, theater, casino, and even an ice factory. Most of the residents were German miners. They tried to maintain a European lifestyle in the middle of the desert. However, the desert slowly began to reclaim the town. Sandstorms pushed sand deep inside the houses. Over time, diamond reserves declined. The discovery of richer mines elsewhere sealed Kolmanskop's fate. By the 1930s, the town was rapidly abandoned. People left Kolmanskop behind, often without taking their belongings. Time seems frozen in Kolmanskop. Homes, hallways, and rooms remain standing, filled with sand. Silence and abandonment give the town a haunting atmosphere. At night, Kolmanskop becomes even more unsettling. Today, Kolmanskop is visited as a tourist ghost town. However, nature continues to slowly consume it. Kolmanskop is a lost symbol of humanity's battle against nature. A ghost town buried beneath the sand. 9. Krakow, Italy. Krakow is an abandoned medieval town located in the Basilicata region of southern Italy. Built on top of a high hill, the town is completely silent today. The history of Krakow dates back to the 8th century AD. For centuries, people lived their lives on this hilltop. Krakow was built as a defensive settlement. Narrow streets and stone structures protected its residents from enemies. At one time, Krakow was a lively and populated town. Churches, homes, and squares were full of life. However, Krakow suffered from constant landslides and ground instability. Over time, the terrain made the town uninhabitable. Especially in the 20th century, earthquakes caused major destruction. Many buildings were severely damaged. In the 1960s, residents were forced to completely abandon Krakow. The town slowly turned into a ghost town. Today, time seems frozen in Krakow. Homes and streets remain exactly as they were. Silence and decay give Krakow a haunting atmosphere. Especially in foggy weather, the town looks even more unsettling. Krakow has been used as a filming location for many movies and TV series. Its abandoned look turned it into a natural film set. Today, Krakow can be visited under controlled conditions. However, it still feels completely abandoned. 10. Pripyat, Chernobyl, Ukraine. Pripyat is an abandoned city in northern Ukraine, near the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. After the 1986 disaster, the city was completely evacuated. Pripyat was built in the 1970s for nuclear plant workers and their families. It was an example of modern Soviet city planning. On April 26, 1986, a nuclear explosion occurred at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The entire city was urgently evacuated. Time stopped in Pripyat. Toys, school books, and belongings were left behind. The city carries the traces of the disaster. Nature is slowly reclaiming the city. Trees and plants grow into buildings and streets. The city is silent and haunting, especially on foggy mornings. Pripyat is a symbol of a true ghost town. The Ferris wheel, the city's symbol, has long ceased to operate. It has become a symbol of the disaster and abandonment. Today, Pripyat can be visited under controlled conditions. However, due to radiation, entry is allowed only with special guides. Pripyat is a silent reminder of human error and the power of nature, an abandoned, radioactive, and forgotten city.